welcome once again to this week's edition of the Dakota Angler 2-Minute Fishing Report. Well, as typical, we went from winter to summer in a matter of days, and boy, it really has turned up the thermostat the past week, to say the least, and we have more heat ahead of us. But really, that hasn't affected fishing much. I would say the fishing is probably the best it's been all year long. As far as the walleyes are concerned out there, and first off, before I get into that, make sure when you do go out in this extreme heat and you're out in the boat, make sure you stay hydrated. And I'm not talking about drinking alcoholic beverages. Drink plenty of non-alcoholic, such as water, Gatorade, anything like that. But make sure everyone in your boat, especially the elderly and your kids, stay hydrated as much as possible. As far as the fishing report is concerned, up in the northeastern part of the state, lakes that produced walleyes this past week included Bitter, Opitz, Pius, North Rush, Indian Springs, all doing well as Waubay, Lynn, and Big Stone. A few being caught at Blue Dog, Clear, Goose, Dry Lake by Clark, and then also the lake we haven't talked about in a long time, Fish Lake in Dual County. Down the southeastern part of the state, lakes that produce walleyes included Thompson, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Whitewood. And that's been probably the hottest story going, to say the least. Also Ponset, Henry, Sinai, 81 Ponds, Spirit has been catching a few, as well as Twin Lakes, and remember Twin is the trophy lake, and then a few being caught at Madison, Brant, Island, as well as Vermilion. And then also the Missouri River continues to do well. I mean, you're talking great quality fish, to say the least, especially down the Platte area, but also Chamberlain has been doing well, as at the same time also is Mobridge and Pier. What are guys doing to catch the walleyes right now? A lot of guys now have been making the transition to pulling plugs. Some of the crankbaits that people are using include the Flicker Shads by Berkeley. Also, the Selma Hornets are probably the most popular plugs right now. And then also the Rapala Shad Dancers are also doing well. Other people are pulling bottom monsters now, transitioning away from minnows, so to speak, and using more crawlers and leeches. And then also the Slow Death rig has been working well, again, with half of a crawler or an artificial crawler at this point in time. The other people are also throwing jigs and plastics, jigs and swim baits, such as the Walleye Assassins, and then also the Bee Fish and Pulsars have been working well. As far as the perch fishing report is concerned, it's been sporadic, to say the least. A few being caught at Big Stone, also Thompson, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, and then also a few at Ponset. But again, like I said, it's been sporadic. They really haven't been schooled up much, but when they've been getting them, they've been fairly nice at those locations. In this week's edition of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to talk about bait care. And the reason why is because with this extreme heat, it's pretty tough to take care of your bait, in other words, to keep it alive, especially the minnows. And so we're going to talk about a number of different options for you this week. Many people are very much aware with the Engel coolers as well as the Frabill coolers. You can see the Frabill cooler behind me, the live bait stations. Also the Engel cooler right down here. And what's also unique is we got this nice fluorescent yellow color. I can guarantee you won't lose that even at night. And these bait coolers come in a number of different options. The nice thing about these things, they're insulated, they're aerated, and that's the whole key right there, is keeping your bait cool. A lot of people talk about aeration. That's important as well, but the warmer that water gets, the more oxygen is depleted. So the cooler the water, the more oxygen, and that's where it's going to be the best thing you can do, is to keep some ice along with you to keep it as cool as possible. If you don't like to have larger options, a little bit more portable option is also the insulated bait cooler that's new this year by Frabill. It's the 3600 version of it. Again, very good and useful type of aerated bait cooler. So again, there's a number of different options. As I mentioned, these two here come in a number of different sizes. The universal bait station there is basically one size only. So that's when we're talking about minnows. Again, the key is aeration and keeping the water cool. And if you can't keep the water cool, if you don't have the water, ice available to you at that point in time, making sure you swap the water out and refresh the water routinely. And then when it comes to leeches, there are a number of different options. I think a lot of people have the traditional plastic style type of leech locker like here that you can keep it inside one of these bait coolers. But again, you can see the size compared to that, it's a little bit more tight. And that's where the leech tamers by Lindy come in real handy. They're just a mesh bag that you can put your leeches in, throw them in the cooler, any size of the cooler, and they stay nice and cool. So the key, again, is taking care of the bait. Honestly, the bait is the cheapest part of your trip, so why not take care of it all the time, making sure that you have the proper accessories to keep your bait alive. And so if you have any more questions about any of these types of bait stations that we talked about, or the leech lock or the leech tamer, feel free to stop on by here at the store at any time, or feel free to give us a call at 605-336-9132. And now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2 Minute Fishing Report, all you have to do is send it to me. Send it to Todd@DakotaAngler.com or post it to our Facebook wall. And remember, folks, if you would like any of the tackle that we talked about in today's report, all you have to do is stop by the store here or give us a call at 605-336-9132. Or you can order it from us online at DakotaAngler.com, and we'll ship it out to you as soon as possible. So again, there's multiple ways to receive the tackle that we talked about in this report or in previous weeks. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2 Minute Fishing Report for Dakota Angler. I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next week. And again, thanks for watching, folks. I greatly appreciate it. Stay healthy, and please stay safe.